Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. Let's just say hello to everybody. Welcome, Jennifer, a new member. Thank you so much for joining. Jackie, hi, Jackie. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Mia. Bad Fairy, hi. Hi, Vicky. Now, we're all hot. Oh, Jackie, hi, Jackie. So we're all hot. We're in all different parts of the world and we're all hot. Is this climate change? I mean, it's always hot, to be honest, in Spain at this time of year. I can't say there isn't. It's more or less 30 degrees. And because now, Jackie's, hi, Samantha, good evening. Hi, David. Hi, Jennifer. It's nice that it's sunny. Actually, it has been a lovely day. It hasn't been too bad. It's just the way my house is in the afternoon, the sun moves around and I have to pull all the, I've turned into a Spanish person. All the blinds are down. I've got loads of fans on. I did have the aircon on. It doesn't seem to be working at the moment for some reason. Hi, Nick. Hi, Chumba. Hope I don't miss anybody because I think there might be quite a few people come on for this live stream. So please, please, please forgive me if I do miss saying hello to anyone. Hi, Hannah. Yeah, is it climate change or is it just, I don't know, it's just the normal weather in Spain. But what happens, with my particular house is the sun comes around in the afternoon. So the mornings are not too bad. They're quite fresh. I've got like a roof terrace. I've been up there this morning. When I say this morning, I mean before 12. By 12 o'clock, you couldn't be up there any longer. It was too hot. Hi, Bobby Socks. Belfast, 23 degrees. That's what I mean. It's just hot everywhere, isn't it? But I think you're supposed to be having some thunderstorms maybe over in the UK. Hi, Trigger. I think, was it Jackie? She said she's coming over to Spain next week. You're going to get good weather. There's no doubt about that, Jackie. And the thing is, when we're on holiday, it's not so bad, is it? Because that's what you want. You'd be disappointed, wouldn't you? You'd want your money back if you didn't get nice weather. You want to be on the beach. You want to be around the pool. It's different when you're trying to work in it, that's all. Because I'll tell you what, your brain doesn't work properly. It's like so sluggish, it's like, oh, gosh, just trying to get your brain working is hard. Okay, gosh, so, I don't know this week. It just seems like there's so many things happening, aren't there? I mean, obviously, we're gearing up to the inquest with the Nicola Bulley case on Monday, and it's like we've been waiting for it for so long, and now suddenly it's nearly here, and we're all hoping for something. Hi, Heather. Hi, Tina. Sunny Manchester, even Manchester's sunny. So, but there's been all other things going on as well, where there's like the submarine Titan thing. And now today, I don't know if you've seen on the news, but it's all kicking off in Russia. And, we've been following that today as well on the news, and what's going to happen there, and my heart just always goes out to the civilians that get caught up in these things. I hate war. I'm a pacifist. I just don't see the point in it. What's it all about? And who are the people that suffer? The civilians and the animals. People forget about how animals suffer in war. It's like, and the soldiers suffer, but the soldiers choose to be there unless they're conscripted. But just so much suffering and that, sometimes I just can't even think about it because it all just crowds in on me and I can't stand it. Hi, Charlie Angel. Hi, Amanda. I'm really trying to say hello to everyone. Please, please, if you do come on and I don't say hello, please, because once I get into my stride as well, it'd be more difficult to say hello to people. I've got a photo so something I wanted to say before I start is, you know, there was all these things yesterday about the anonymous Facebook post, and sometimes creators are putting on, you know, information that's not verified or whatever. Now, I just want to make clear, I don't think for a minute that these creators are doing this for bad reasons. I really don't. You know, the thing is, everybody's invested in this Nicola Bulley case. I would always like to think that people do genuinely care that justice for Nicola, whatever it is, whatever the outcome is of the inquest and whatever the outcome is, and I'm going to give my opinion tonight on what I think, but it is only my opinion. And I have to make that clear. And I think that people who have been putting, you know, photos or videos up, I don't think they're doing it for bad reasons. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you've got to be very careful because there's so much misinformation. You know, that, hi Angela, so much information out there, and there's so much misinformation out there. It's very difficult, isn't it, to tell the difference between the two. Hi Rachel. So what I wanted to just make clear, it's like, just picture the scene. You're in a courtroom and someone's being tried for murder. This is what the police can only deal with concrete evidence. Someone's on trial for murder and the prosecution comes up and the judge says, oh, right, well, what's your evidence? They say, oh, well, there was this anonymous Facebook post, you know, from a local. Now, you know, you just can't do that, can you? So I'm not saying even that post was not true. It may well be true. I've had, hi Susan, hi David. Any, you know, I've had a lot of emails, and I want to say thank you very much for sending me emails. And I try and keep up with them, and I always try and reply. And if anyone wants to send me an email, it's vickymariechats@gmail.com, and it's Vicky with an I. Anyone who's got any information they want to give me privately, and I promise you, whatever information that is, it won't go any further unless you allow me to, or you tell me, you know, you might say, oh, it's okay to present it, but I don't want my name to be mentioned, etc. Hi, Debbie. You know, so it's very important, though, that things, you know, information that's given out, you know, and I'm not trying to defend the police, because I do think that the Lancashire police have done a lot of things wrong right from the beginning. I'm going to talk about that. But I do think they were led astray. They were led astray by the things they were told and by the welfare check on the 10th. And unfortunately, hi Barb, unfortunately, they sort of fell into that trap, which happens so often, in my opinion, where it's easy to sort of gaslight, you know, we still don't know exactly what happened on the 10th, do we? So until the police or anyone else tells us exactly what happened, maybe they can't tell us. What I'm going to talk about later are other cases where things like this happened, where people were angry because they felt like no information was coming out, and then it turned out things were happening. But the police, any police, not only the Lancashire police, any police, they cannot tell, when it's an ongoing investigation, they cannot talk about it. Of course they can't. It happened with the recent case in Idaho. You know, for I don't know how I still keep saying I'm going to do a video on that, but it's all been, like last week it was the Madeleine McCann case. This week, you know, when I went to Portugal, this week, obviously in the build up to the inquest, it's all been about Nicola. So I haven't had time, to be honest, to do videos on other subjects that I want to do videos on. You know, it was similar with that. So the thing is, the 4 students, I'm calling them, I think they were all students, but anyway, the 4 young people were murdered. There was outcries that the police weren't doing anything and blah, 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 blah. But then it turned out when they finally arrested, is it Kohlberg, his name? They actually had been doing quite a lot, but they can't be open about it. They can't tell people when there's an active investigations going on, they can't. So my hope is that there are investigations going on that now I could be completely wrong, but I still keep hoping that. Oh gosh, what did I just so what I wanted to talk about first of all was this thing about, you know, various YouTube creators that, you know, obviously this case of Nicola Bulley has attracted a lot of attention, and sometimes I really truly believe that people just genuinely, even if they do things that maybe I wouldn't agree with, I'm sure they're doing it with Nicola's best interests at heart, or at least that's what I would hope. Well, do you know, Charlie, Gabby Petito, Charlie's mentioning Gabby Petito, she was another case where it felt like the police weren't doing anything and everyone was saying, you know, all over social media, etc., or, you know, there's nothing being done. And actually it turned out the police were actually investigating, but they just can't talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to talk about those later. So yeah, later on in this video as well, in this stream, I have been sent a photo of Nicola with a bruise. You know, we've been talking, there was the photos going around with the bruise, which is face glitter on that particular picture. I mean, I just think it is, because I don't think, you know, Nicola wouldn't have had a public photograph taken with a bruise like that, I don't think. But anyway, it's not a bruise, it's face glitter. It was a party that were out, they both had face glitter on, and that's my opinion. But I'm sure there was what's the word for using that photo, I'm sure there was like you know, it was trying to help or trying to prove something, I don't know. But anyway, so I'm not criticizing the use of the photo. All I'm saying is, in my opinion, after I've looked at it properly, it's face glitter. But I do have a photo to show you that is not face glitter. Well, you'll tell me what you think. As with everything else, I'll present it to you. Somebody sent it to me. I'll present it to you and you will tell me what you think. And we'll all make our decision. Now, let me just... So as I'm talking about that, I'm thinking, what have I done with it? I just want to make sure I've got it handy so that I can show you later. Let me just see. Yeah. So yeah, it's ready there to show you, and I will be showing it you. What I want to talk about first is basically what I've put as the subject of the stream, because I want to talk about my opinion on what happened. Now, bear in mind that my opinion at the moment is based on what we know now. If something different, you know, there is, again, there may well be lots of things that will come out at the inquest that we don't know, or there may not be. I want to tell you what my opinion is and what I think the inquest decision will be, the verdict, if you like. I might be completely wrong. This is just me saying what I think on what I know so far. If some revelations come out during the inquest that I don't know anything about, well, it could be completely different. But in my opinion, this is what I'm going to talk about. Now, I want to just address that anonymous Facebook post as well. Again, whoever showed that in their video or whatever, I'm sure it wasn't done for a bad reason. They, you know, and I think maybe it's true, the things that are said in it. So I've received quite a few emails now from, but again, it's about proving it, isn't it? So it's no good. Hearsay is not accepted in court. If it's like, oh, such and such told me this and they saw them doing that, you've got to have some proof. You do have to have proof if you're going to take it as far as it maybe needs to go. I mean, if we really do suspect foul play, like the worst kind of foul play, more than even just making someone's life miserable, but actually taking their life away from them, you have to have evidence, you have to, and you have to get it exactly right, because it's really difficult, to take it. It's really difficult to take things to court. To me, anything that actually gets to court, whether it be a murder case, whether it be an RAPE case, whatever case it is, if the police manage to actually get the Crown Prosecution Service to accept it as a case that they will prosecute, to me, they're more or less 99% likely to be guilty, because I know how difficult it is to get someone to get a case to that point. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, because at the end of the day, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. You're not guilty till you're proven innocent. So the onus is on the police to prove the case, and they have to prove it with evidence. So going back to Nicola, in view of everything that I've seen, and obviously I've seen a lot of things, I don't know everything that's happened, but I've been with this case from day one. I don't believe that Nicola deleted herself. The only way that I could believe that would be that if her life was just made so miserable that she couldn't see any escape, that possibly, because I know you don't know what's going on in people's minds. Sometimes people do things that you wouldn't expect. But I really don't think that she would have done it, left Willow running about. I've said that many, many times. I don't think she would have left Willow just running about, and she might have got run over, gone out onto that horrible road and got run over. I don't believe, she would have left her children, but people do leave their children. I know people do. So, but from everything, and I didn't know Nicola personally, and I know that, but everything, not only that, it's what other people that did know her say, and the way she was and the things she was planning. I just cannot imagine that she took that decision unless she just could not see any other way out. I don't believe it was an accident, because how could it be an accident? She's walked day in, day out for years along that river. Even her neighbour said, she's walked that way. We've all walked that way, and none of us have, we've all managed not to fall into the river. Nobody's fell in the river. Nobody's fell in the river for years. I mean, I think maybe somebody did however many years ago. But, all people walk along that river day in, day out, loads of people with their dogs, and they don't fall into the river. So what would have made her go so close to the river that she would have fallen? Now, could she have been pushed? See, this is something that I honestly think is a realistic conclusion, and that goes back to the Emma thing, doesn't it? If that were, she could have been pushed into the river. That's a possibility. The problem we've got is that I don't think the coroner would be able to. Well, he wouldn't be able to establish that. The coroner's got a big job on his hands, because he won't even really be able to establish probably the cause of death. He might establish that it is drowning, but he wouldn't be able to establish if it was drowning because she fell in, she was pushed in, or she jumped in. He can't establish that. And the other problem he's got is because of the length of time she was in the water, there will have been a lot of deterioration. Sorry, I won't go into gory details, but I've read up quite a lot about it. There'll be so much deterioration that there'll be no bruises, there'll be no, the sort of normal things that would suggest to you trauma, etc. And even if there are, hi Ruth, even if there are, my two fur babies, Ruth, and my son's fur baby, and my son's fur baby is upstairs with him. at the moment. My two fur babies are just crashed out because they're so hot, so they're just like crashed out on the floor. Hi, Jeff Swig. Hi, Just William Catapult Poacher. Yeah. And then we've got this problem is why wasn't she found on that first day? You know, because although Peter Falding wasn't brought in till a bit later, you know, the police, they said Silly Sally, and as much as I think Silly Sally is probably a very nice person, but I just think she was completely misled right from the beginning. I think all the police were. Maybe she realised that as time went on. But it was like, you know, it was her the issues that Nicola supposedly had, which maybe she did, but we don't know for sure because we've not been shown any evidence of that. It was just straight away, Silly Sally was focused. Nicola had fallen in the water. She decided that. You could see from the interviews. I've got a video on here where I presented what she said. When a reporter said to her, oh, you know, do you think that it might have been a good idea to cordon off like the area? She just immediately assumed he meant actually put a fence around the river so people didn't fall in. And she started talking about that. And then she clicked that actually he was talking about a cordon around the bench or, you know, stop people going and sort of tainting the scene. She just didn't even think about that. She was so focused in the beginning on that Nicola had gone either fallen or jumped into the river that she wasn't exploring any other avenues. And I think she was gaslit. I do think she was gaslit. But anyway, and then by the time they sort of realised that, it was too late for Silly Sally and she had to move on. So the doctor's report, Charlie, will establish the cause of death. That'll already be known. But it'll only establish the cause of death if was it drowning. But what if she'd been sort of hit on the head or pushed, and it can't establish that. And the problem is now, even though she may have, because I have heard again, total rumours, that there are some injuries to her head, but that can happen in the river, you know, as the body's sort of floating down the river, it bangs onto things. So that, you know, I don't know, you know, from what I've read, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to prove that. You know, obviously, some cases like there be like a bullet in there or whatever, someone's been shot in the head and gone into the river, but this isn't going to be like that. So maybe she'll have some fractures, but have they been caused through being in the river, or were they already caused before she went in the river? That'll be the problem. And of course, now, is the Paul thing, isn't there? You know, I still, in my heart, I hope that Paul had nothing to do with it, because Nicola's children have lost their mum. And if Paul did have something to do with it, and it does, you know, come to light, then they've lost a father as well. So that, you know, I don't want that. I would love for Paul to not be complicit in this in any way. But, you know, we've seen the interviews. I'm not going to go over all the things for the interviews again. They're all there on my channel, all the different interviews. He's very odd, his behaviour. He seems emotionless. I felt no true emotion from either Paul or Emma. And my feeling is that they may be in some sort of relationship. And I really feel that in a time to come in the future, they will be in a relationship, and they'll say that they weren't in a relationship before, but they were brought together because of all this. Of course, then we've got Emma's husband. Now, you know, Ed, Emma's husband, Ed, you know, where is he in all this? Are they still together? Have they separated? I know he supposedly works in London, so maybe he's not around much. You know, there's just so much mystery surrounding this case. But some of the emails that I've received from locals, they say they're locals. Again, you know, I have to say this, and I'm not saying anything against them or that I don't believe them, you know, because I don't know them. But, you know, the things that they're saying to me is the general opinion is that Paul wasn't very nice to Nikki. And as I say, I will be showing you a photo with a bruise that suggests that. So, in my opinion, Nicola did not delete herself. She did not have an accident. She may have been pushed in. Something else might have happened. I actually don't believe, you cannot believe that she was at the river that day. Unless they're going to present something on Monday at the inquest that we haven't seen before. We have seen nothing so far to show that she went to the river. Keep banging on, there's nothing to show she came away from the river, but I just want to know, what is the proof that she was ever at the river in the first place? That would be my first question. And if there's no proof for that, then really all the rest of it is rubbish, isn't it? All the bloody timeline, this, that and the other that changed, the witness that saw her, then they didn't see her, and then, it's just changed so often that it's just totally confusing. I want to say now that if Paul may be watching this, because we know that he watches true crime channels, because he sent his CCTV to Ghastly True Crime. So we know that he does watch it. He may watch this, he might not. My channel might be too small for him to even worry about. But if you are watching this, and are you surprised that people have, I want to ask you seriously from the heart, are you surprised that people are suspicious of you? Do you understand why people are suspicious of you? What would you say to those people? Why do you think? Believe me, I honestly do not want to think bad of you. It's just the evidence of my eyes from the interviews that I've seen, and that is honestly the truth. It's not that I want to feel bad of you. That's just how you haven't seemed to show emotion. That just might be the way you are. What would you say to people who feel like that, and why they feel like that? That's all I would ask you. But anyway, yeah, Mia, thank you. Yes, hit the like, please. I always forget to say that. I start off, I haven't even done my housekeeping again. I forget. I need to start remembering that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So now a couple of things. So this is what I think then is, could be foul play. It possibly could be self-deletion, but if it is, it's because she was sort of driven to it, and I'd need to see some proper evidence of that. I don't think there's any evidence for either of those things. So I think the verdict will be an open verdict. I think that's the only verdict that it can be, from what we've seen so far. So unless something mega comes up at the inquest, like a note maybe that she left, or things that we don't know, testimony from her family who confirm, because this is the other thing, isn't it? We still, her family never appeared with Paul. There are no photos, not even one photo. If any of you know any different, you can show me, but I have seen not one photo of Nicola and Paul and her family. So why is that? Why is that? So there's plenty of pictures of Nicola and Paul and their friends, plenty of pictures of Nicola and her family, but not one picture of all of them together. Now, I can't believe that all these internet sleuths who've been digging up all these pictures, and not only them, but the mainstream media that have dug up pictures off her Facebook and this, that and the other, have not been able to find not one photo of the whole family all together. That's a big thing. Now, in my family, there's been domestic violence with my sisters, and the family didn't want to know them, but because of that, but there were still photos of them together, you know, occasionally, because there might be a family party or whatever, and maybe they didn't, because what happens with domestic violence, isn't it, that when it gets to an extreme point, maybe the person then tells their family or their friends or whatever something that's happened, and everybody sort of gets in an outcry and gets really angry with the person that's committed the domestic abuse. And then they get back together, and then it's all sort of, you know, you've got to be nice. I've done that a million times with my sister's partners, you know, and then the next time you see them, you've got to be nice to them because they're back together. But it's really difficult because you know when they've been split up exactly what they've been doing, you know, so it's difficult, but that's, you know, their choice. So it's difficult to hygiene. It's difficult, isn't it, to sort of disconnect completely because if your family member decides to go back with that person, then you have to accept them when it comes, not all the time, maybe you don't have to be seeing them constantly, but if there's a family party, Christmas, etc., you know, you're going to bump into them and you just have to sort of grin and bear it, really. It's really difficult knowing all the things that you know that they've done to your relative. You're all okay in chat, are you? Because I know I'm talking and I'm trying to, I do every now and again just look and make sure I haven't missed anyone, but I may have missed people. Well, that's interesting, Trigger. Yeah, but do you know, but what happened? Did your sister go back with him, or was that the end of it? You know, because sometimes they go back with them, don't they? So what do you do then? I mean, that's their choice, isn't it? And that was a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Hi, Angela. You punched. Yeah, well, I have been in a situation. That was the end of it, Trigger. Well, that's good. It's good that they had you to do that. Quite often they don't have that. But, you know, personally, in my personal experience, you know, with my sisters, I have had to go back and then be friendly with that person because that's been what they've chosen, even though I've known, you know, what they've done. And then when your sort of your sister, your friend, or whoever it is saying to you, "Oh no, they've changed," and you know, because you're in danger of losing your sister or your friend. Now, this is what happened with Lindsay Quay. So this is another thing I wanted to talk about a couple of cases, if you like, where similar things had happened in the case that there was no evidence against the husband. Somebody either went missing or was murdered, but there was no evidence against the husband, and it took quite a long time to bring them to justice. So it does happen, but people do get brought to justice in the end. Hi, Lynn. First of all, I want to talk about Helen Bailey. She was the authoress. Her husband, Ian, murdered her and buried her in the cesspit under the garage. Anyway, eventually the police found her and he was charged. But it turned out, and there's a video about this on my channel, it turned out then they started looking back into him, and his first wife had died of what they had thought at the time was natural causes, but it turned out then when they didn't have to, I was thinking they had to exhume it, they didn't have to exhume her body. She'd had for some reason, I think she'd had some sort of medical problem, and they'd taken some biopsies and they still had them, and they went back to them and checked them, and there were drugs in it. They found there were drugs in the system, and actually she had died of asphyxiation, not epilepsy, which is what she initially at the inquest they'd found that it was natural causes, epilepsy. He said she collapsed in the garden. He phoned the 999 or whatever, phoned the ambulance, and it was decided that she died of natural causes. But then, because later on he then murdered Helen, his second wife, They looked back at his first wife and found that he'd actually murdered her as well. So that took quite a long time to bring to justice. Then there was, of course, Lindsay Quay that I'm often banging on. I don't know why I'm sort of a bit obsessed with Lindsay. I think it was because she reminded me of me at her age, and she was just so, you know, I do feel that they were in love as well. It's anyway, if you watch the video, you know, and he went on a lot of TV programs and stuff like that. Went on This Morning and invited people into his home, and it took 17 or 18 months before he was actually finally brought to account for the murder of Lindsay, because there was no evidence, and her parents had to share custody of the children with him. I think this is a thing in the Nicola Bulley case. You know, if Paul has had something to do with it, the parents, Dot and Ernie, they can't be anti-Paul because he's in possession, I presume, of the custody of the children, and you know, they've got to get on with him. They've got to be nice to him up to a point, whatever they think. You know, maybe they do sympathize with him. I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe they think it's terrible that all these suspicions are being cast on him, but we don't know. But whether they do or they don't, they can't be horrible to him because they'll want custody of the children. So Mitchell and Lindsay Quay, hi Jim, her parents had to share custody of her children with him, had to talk to him, had to go and pick up the children, take them back, have some sort of contact with him, even though they were, you know, 100% certain that he had done something to Lindsay. Oh, and going back to what I was saying before about domestic violence, the trouble is that's what happened with them. In the end, I could get upset now. Actually, I'm not going to get upset. I promise, Charlie, I'm not going to get upset. But in the end, they felt terrible because they cut off from Lindsay because she'd gone back to Mitchell so many times that in the end they just sort of washed their hands of her a little bit because they just couldn't take the to-ing and fro-ing. It was 1 minute he was the worst thing in the world, next minute she was back in love with him again, and it went backwards and forwards. And in the end they did, when Lindsay sadly sort of disappeared, and it turned out 17 months later that he had murdered her just before Christmas. They felt, can you imagine how they felt? I mean, it's bad enough if you'd supported that person, but a sister said it feels worse because we feel like we let her down. You know, when somebody gets murdered or something terrible happens to someone, it's always everybody else that feels guilty. That's what I've noticed in every case that I've covered. You know, the actual culprit rarely sort of says they're sorry, even, because they're normally a narcissist or a psychopath or something. But everybody else who's concerned in it feels guilty because they didn't do this or they didn't do that, or they should have phoned them, or they should have said this, or they should have helped them. Everyone feels guilty except the person that actually did it. Hi, Julie. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, 2 women each week are killed by their partners. Yeah. We see this when obviously, as I say, it's all been about Nicola this week. I want to do, because there's so many stalking instances, breakup violence. You know, this is what I think might have happened with Nicola at the end of the day. If she had enough, if these anonymous posts are true and she had really had enough, and they may be true, you know, my problem isn't with the post or whether it's true or not. It could well be true. My problem is it can't be verified, so you can't just present it as true. If they were about to split up, that is the most dangerous time for anybody, man or woman. Breakup violence is so common. That is the dangerous time. So it brings me to another case of what I was saying. So Madeleine Kingsley, that I've been following, Kingsbury, that I was following her case, and she has now unfortunately been found, and it was her partner, her ex-partner, who's been arrested. But it took the police a long time to arrest him, and he was going for custody of the children, etc. And the children are with her dad. And, it was a very hairy time for them because they didn't know if, he had rights. I mean, there was no evidence. Finally, they did find Madeleine, and they meet the police, and they immediately arrested Adam Farwell for her murder. So at least the parents don't have to worry about that now. Though they still got to worry because he can apply for visits. Not obviously he's in prison, but he can apply for the children to come to see him. He still does have some parental rights, unfortunately. Now, everyone feels guilty for not seeing the signs. I felt like that with my sister, both my sisters at times. But then, what do you do? But anyway, so that brings me to, so there's something else I just wanted to tell you quickly about Madeleine Kingsbury. So I was looking, because I want to do, now that, right, I'm going to show you this. I am going to make, not tonight, because I haven't decided how much to donate yet, but I am, now unfortunately it's not coming up in Spanish, but it's coming up, it's partly in Spanish, obviously because I'm in Spain, but this is the GoFundMe that was set up for Maddie for a search, but now her father is looking after the children, so I am going to make a donation to this, but I just haven't decided how much. So I made the donation to Morel Sturrock, to the children's charity. I just wanted you to know about it, and I will do it, and I will record it. The other thing that I just wanted to say, people might say, why don't you make a donation to Nicola? I won't be making any donations to Paul Ansell. If it came to a point where it was proven completely, I would like to make a donation to Nicola's children. I really, really would, but not to him. So, unfortunately, GoFundMe's that's set up for Paul, he's the beneficiary. So, that's not happening. I won't be doing any donations to him. But in fact, that makes me think maybe I should have a look. Let's have a look at that, his GoFundMe. Let's see. Yeah, so it still hasn't passed. There's still people putting bits in here and there, which is nice. When people put in, let's just make sure you can see this. Yeah. So this is now the children's faces are on there. I haven't put them on there. This is on the GoFundMe page. So I personally would not have shown the children's faces, but obviously he thinks he'll get more money that way. So yeah, it's things like this, isn't it, as well? These are more red flags. It's been on 38,000 for quite a long time now, or around about that amount. So you can see that somebody donated 2 days ago £5, 15 days ago £100. So then it's a month ago. That to me is a red flag as well, because normally people would be, in a case like this that is so famous and people are so, everybody knows about it all over the world, it's quite a small amount really that they've raised. And this, of course, is the photo that supposedly is photoshopped, because this is what he was wearing for the Dan Walker interview, and people are saying that. In fact, I'm going to come off this because I don't like the fact that the children are on it. But anyway, just wanted to show it you. So I won't be donating to that. If there ever comes a day that there's a GoFundMe for her children, or for, you know, maybe if the children, you know, you know, I need to know that it's not going to him before I would make it. Anyway. Hi, Will. Hi, Anne. Do you know, I don't know how much GoFundMe take. I wouldn't. Surely they don't take 33%. Does anybody know? I mean, I could find out, I suppose. Let's have a look. %2.9%. I'll put that up so you can see it. Okay, so it says, what percentage does GoFundMe take for transaction fees? It says a transaction fee of 2.9% plus 30 cents is deducted. According to that, 2.9%. I thought 33%, to be honest, was a little bit high. Yeah, I think what happened, Amanda, 38,000 is quite, I mean, it's a good amount of money. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. But when you think about that spin from when Nicola's body was sadly found, which was in February. So it's been 4 months. Yeah, Paul is, you know, we have to think, why is Paul disliked? You know, so it's these interviews that he's done, isn't it, in the way he comes over, and the lack of emotion and the lack of feeling. And it's such a big amount of people that feel that can't all be wrong, in my opinion, can't all be wrong. So, but it's a lot of money. It's still up there. Now, maybe after the inquest, if there's found to be no foul play, it might go up again. I mean, there will be people who do believe in Paul, etc. So we'll see. But Paul himself, I don't like the way he uses the children on there. That's what I don't like. Because we're also conscious of not sort of using photos of the children, etc. And if I put a picture up of the children, it'd be terrible, wouldn't it? But I know they're his children, but even so, it's to get money, isn't it? It's to get money. So it's like it's all right to show, for him to show photos of the children because he's getting money. But if it's not about to do with money, then leave us alone. Leave us alone now. Unless you want to donate to my GoFundMe page, then don't leave us alone. Sorry, I'm just looking at Rachel's post here. Yeah. Yeah, Rachel, it could be a true post. Honest to God, I'm not saying it isn't. Do you know, actually, how it struck me is it's a bit of a combination of what everybody has said. There's a bit of all of that in there. I'm not saying that it's not it didn't really happen. I don't know. All I'm saying is it's not verifiable, and the police should know about it. And then somebody said, oh, well, he said he'd been to the police and they weren't interested. And, you know, I don't care what anyone says. There's no way that if you went to the police with actual evidence, I think, you know, of course they would be interested. They would be. I don't believe that they would. That's like saying that I might call her Silly Sally or Rocky Rebecca, but I still believe that they would want, you know, if something like that was going on and they had the evidence to show it, then they would want. Maybe they are trying their best to pin Paul down, and they just can't. So we don't know, do we? yeah, I think somebody was talking there about this, the what they call the body language experts. Yeah, I think the problem they had is they're not British. Because it's true. Listen, I've lived in Spain for 25 years. Cultures are different. It's not even about the language. We speak English, American, but sometimes if you don't understand the culture, there's a culture in America. Barbie, if she's still on here, she'll confirm this. It's like which Barb's from, even just in, can be American, you can be from California. You've got a different way of thinking from someone from Dallas, Texas. It's like someone in the north of the UK. There is a different way of thinking from people in the south. We've got a lot of things that are the same, but there are things that are different. So I think with the behaviour panel, I just don't think they took in, or they could take in, this sort of, there's a culture difference, and I just don't think they got it. Oh, Mark Bowden is British, is it? So what did he say? Did he agree as well? Did he say that? I haven't watched it, to be honest, because I don't actually like the behaviour panel, because I watched them talking about, I think it might be in the McCanns, and I just thought, nah. So, no. They're not they're not for me, because there's the McCanns is a whole nother thing. But so did he say the same thing, David? Did he say that he felt that the partner, because wasn't there one of them that said that he thought there was something? I don't know. I need to watch it, don't I? I'm going to have to sit down and watch it, and then I can comment on it better. Because if I don't, if I haven't seen it, really, I shouldn't comment on it, because he was the strongest pro PA. Okay. Well, I have to have a look at that and see. But it's funny, because I sort of don't want to watch it, because I know I won't agree with it, and that's bad, really, because I've already decided what I think, and I shouldn't do that. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to watch it with an open mind. I promise I will. Don't know when, because of course everything's. I'm watching so many things. Oh, I remember reading that. Yes, I remember reading that he talked about that northern men don't show their emotions. What a load of. Sorry, I'm from the north. My dad, my brother, my two brothers, my cousins, etc. Maybe I think all men find it harder to show their emotions, but I know it depends on the situation. When your partner's gone missing, of course you'd show your emotions, whether you're from the north or not. Don't care where you're from. You could be, they say that Scottish people don't show their emotions, and especially Scottish men. I've seen Scottish men crying. It depends on the situation, doesn't it? Yeah, you're not going to cry because of Bambi or whatever, you're watching a Disney film. But if your partner's gone missing, or your mum dies, or something happens to your children, I've seen, of course they will cry. I mean, that's the biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard. Yeah, I remember that now. I do remember thinking that. It's absolute rubbish to say that they don't show emotion. I didn't see my dad cry every day, but I saw him cry sometimes. And the thing is that because of that, it makes it all the more, God, if anything would have happened to my mum or any of us, or, So, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, what load of, and where is he from? Where is Mark from? Oh, yeah. Jackie, I think you're right. He's from the south, so he thinks all northerners have flat caps and whippets. Yeah, probably. What load of cojones. If you know Spanish, you'll know what that means, a load of cojones. But I will still watch it. Now, okay, so what else did I want to talk about? So I've talked, one other case that I just want to say about a husband who got away with, or thought he'd got away from killing his wife. If Barb's still on there, she knows about this. This is the recent case, isn't it, of Laurie Daybell Vallow, but her husband, Chad Daybell, his wife, Tammy, died supposedly in natural circumstances. And then, of course, when everything came up about Laurie Daybell and she ended up killing her children. She killed at least two husbands, possibly a brother. Again, there's a video on my channel about it. That is another like crazy story, but it's real. And this is what happened with poor Tammy, who was Chad's first wife. After it all came out, he married Laurie 2 weeks, I think it was, after Tammy died. But of course, when everything came out in that case, then they did go back and check. I don't know, they must have exhumed her, I suppose. Tammy exhumed Tammy and found that she was suffocated or given drugs or whatever. So, yeah, it does happen. It does happen that people think they've got away with things and then did you see the case? There's a case recently today, actually, it was on the news, of a guy who murdered a woman, donkey's years ago, maybe 40, 50 years ago. And he's a pensioner now, but he's just been caught with DNA. I love this DNA. I love these cold cases that are catching up with people. There'll be quite a lot of people out there like really sweating, like because knowing that their DNA might sort of come back to bite them, thinking they've got away with murder, literally, because now with this sort of filial DNA, that because a lot of people are sending their DNA off to websites to find out like about their genealogy, etc., and they're coming back with matches to murders from years ago. It's brilliant. I love the cold cases, Chumba. I find them so interesting. David, you cannot say that they're all loonies in America. Of course they're not all loonies. There's plenty of loonies in the UK. There's loonies everywhere. There's lots of loonies everywhere you look, I think. Anyway, so the last thing I want to show you now is this photo that one of my subscribers sent me. And I want you to tell me what you think. Is there a bruise? Does Nicola have a bruise? Oh, gosh. There's some thoughts that I've got that I really want to say, but I can't say. I literally cannot say. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait for the inquest. I'd like to say the very first thing that struck me when I saw Paul's interview, we think about we're all saying about, did he have a bruise or a scratch? And he had these marks around his neck. That suggested something to me straight away. But we'll see. Barb, yeah. So Tammy was exhumed, wasn't she? Yeah. Yeah. Just going on some of the things that people are saying in the chat. There is a difference between, when I say a difference, there is a bit of a culture difference. I lived in Manchester for the first 27 years of my life. I then moved to Reading in the south, and I lived there for 8 years. Since then, I've come to Spain, lived here all these years. And in Spain, you meet people from all over, expats, my students from learning Spanish. If I hadn't come to Spain, if I would have stayed in Manchester, I may never have met anyone from anywhere outside Manchester. Then I moved to Reading and met people from Reading and the south, etc. I worked on the race courses for the tote. I met a lot of people from London, so a lot of Cockneys work on there. And then I've come to Spain. I've met Scottish people. I've met people from Devon, from all over the UK, people that come to live in Spain. If I would have stayed in Manchester, I wouldn't have met people from all different places. Now, we have a lot in common, but there are some things that are different because we're all, same in Spain. If you take people from different parts of Spain, people from the north of Spain are different from people from the south of Spain. People from Barcelona are a bit sniffy about people from the south. You know, people in Madrid are sniffy about everyone. You know, people in Madrid think they're the best thing ever. You know, so that is just human nature, isn't it, really? But there's a lot of things we have in common, but there are some things they're conditional to where we've grown up. They're the weather. I mean, the weather has a big effect on our cultures. And then I've met people from all over the world here. There's people come to Spain from all over the world. It's not just British people. There's Swedish people. There's Belgian people, French, German, every European nationality you can imagine, Russian, Ukrainian, American, Australian. I've had students from New Zealand. You know, so they've all got their. We've all got our thing, but basically we're all human beings, and I think we can all still get feelings. But for him to turn around and say that about Northern men, he obviously doesn't know any Northern men. You know, it's easy. You know, we do get stereotypes, don't we? Think, oh, French people are like this, or Northerners are like that, or Scottish people are like that, or Irish people are like that, or Welsh people. You know, we have our stereotypes, and I think every stereotype has a little tiny grain of truth because that's where it comes from. But you know, you just have to accept people. For me, you meet someone, you don't think about where they're from. First of all, you just think, do I like this person? You get feeling off them. You either like them or you don't, or you get a good vibe or you get a bad vibe. Sometimes I've met people and I've got a bad vibe initially and I've thought, oh, there's something about this person. But then I've realised it's just, you know, maybe they're nervous, maybe they're shy, maybe they're whatever. So, you know, you just have to take people as you find them, don't they? That's an old expression, but it's so true. You know, you can normally find some good in everybody. You know, even bad people normally have some good. But anyway, let me get to this photo and you tell me what you think. Now I've got to work out a way to show it you now. Let's see, how do I show it? How do I show it? Let's see. No, that's not how I do it. Hang on. Video file. Oh, right, sorry, you're going to have to bear with me because for some reason it's not. Why can't I just show it? Right, if I put that there. Right, I'm having problems showing this picture, but just chat amongst yourself. I'm sure I'll find a way to show it. Oh, it's not letting me show it. Right. That's odd. It's really weird. It's almost like it's not letting me. It's not letting me show this for some reason. Oh gosh. This is really strange. It's not letting me show this picture for some unknown reason. Is it on there? Oh. Right. Gosh. I feel awful now because I've sort of built you up showing you this picture and in fact nothing's coming up. Got to be on downloads. Right, 1 sec. Oh, it's completely disappeared now. Right, I cannot find this picture. I have no idea what's happened to it. It's very, very odd. Share screen. New tab video comments. Ah, hang on. Right, maybe now. Right, then. Ah, hang on. Yeah, no, it won't do it. Right, I have absolutely no idea why I can't show you this picture. I've got the picture up on the screen. I'm trying to do share screen. Oh, hang on, that might do it. Will that do it? No. Right. Show an entire screen. I want to show maybe now. It's not opening. Did that come up? Right, sorry to disappoint you, but it doesn't seem to be, for some unknown reason, it just won't come up. And I don't know why. Right, I'm going to have to sort that out for another time. I've got a photo that I want to show you, but it just won't come up on there. I just can't do it. I can't do it, sorry. Anyway, I will show it you one way or another. Okay, so where are we? So, right, it's 20 to 10 here in Spain. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. But listen, Thank you so much all for being here. Don't forget to give me a like, please. That's the one thing that I'd ask of you. If you don't mind giving me a like, clicking it, select open. Yeah, I've done that. I've clicked it. I can get it up no problem on my screen, Charlie, but then when I go to actually try and present it to share the screen, it's just not coming up. Let's see. Yeah, it comes up the entire screen, but then when I try and go in the photo, so like if I show you, it's like it's just I think honestly, I think my computer's haunted. I've thought that before, so maybe I'm not supposed to show it tonight for whatever reason. Yeah, no. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. But listen, go on presently search. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's annoying that. I know there's a way that I can do it. Hang on, let me see. If I put it to, if I move it to another, I wonder if I move it to another place. Right, hang on a sec. Right, I might have worked it out. Let's see. Gosh, it's disappeared. It was there a minute ago. Weird. It's very weird. It was literally there a minute ago and now it's gone. Yeah. And when I try and go into, I save it into a file, and then when I try and go in there, it won't come up. It's sort of disappeared. Well, I can't show it from my phone, Ibiza, because it's not on my phone. It's on my computer. Save as. See, what it is there. It is there. But then when I try and it is there. When I look at it normally, it's there. But when I try and look at it to actually share it, it just doesn't appear. It's really weird. Oh, just try one more thing. It's just really odd. It's not coming up. No. Customize files. Right. No, I'll be here all night trying to do it. So I'll make sure it could be, Amanda, it could be set to be unshareable because I can see it on my computer when yeah, that's an idea. Take a picture of my screen. What screenshot? Let me try screenshot. Trouble is then I don't know if you'll be able to enlarge it, but I'll try a screenshot. Let's see if I can do it with that. The thing is, if I take a photo of the computer screen with my phone, I won't be able to put it on this live stream because the live stream's on the computer. Now, let me just see if I can find it on a screenshot. I've taken a screenshot of it. Right, let's see if I get up the screenshot and then try and share that. Okay, God, I hate technology. It's great when it works, but when I can't get it to work, oh. Present video file. So odd. So even when I go on, you know, like normally you can go on quick access, like to find the latest things that you've saved, but nothing's coming up on it. It's just weird. Screenshot a photo from phone attached to email to yourself. Open. Right, hang on. StreamYard's asking me, are you having issues? So, yes, I am. Crazy. Right, let's just try this. Right, so if I share my entire screen, it's not sharing my entire screen. Window. Oh, this might work. Can you see this? I think you can see it now. Now, on this photo, which is a heartbreaking picture because it was Christmas, if you zoom in, can you see it first of all? Let's just see. See, I can't come off this now because if I come off it, I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it, can you? Or can you? Can you see the photo or not? No. No, it's just, see, it's coming up where I should be able to go in that now and put this photo up, but you can't see the photo, but I've got it clearly. I've got loads of times here at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Oh. Aye, but you can see this is where I'm trying to go to, where it says Nicola Bruce 2. This is the photo. Yeah, you can see the folders, but you should be able to see more than that. But that's what I don't understand. I don't understand why you can't see the photo then. I've just gone into the photo and opened it, but it's still not coming up. So no, it's not doing it. But I will make sure I get it on a community post. I don't have it on my phone, Nick. Don't have the picture on my phone. I only have it on the computer at the moment. I will get it on my phone. I will work it out. I will work it out, and I'll get the picking it up and dragging it over. I don't think you can do that on here, Ali. You can't. Let me see something there. Slides. I might have to put it on a slide on another stream and show you. But basically, it is a photo, and Nicola does have a bruise on her neck, quite a big bruise. I will, oh gosh, and it is a bruise. Because I looked at it first, I thought it could be a shadow or it could be the hair, but it's not. So, but I would like your opinions too on it. But anyway, I'm so sorry. I feel like I've disappointed you, but you'll get to see it. Yeah, but Ali, it doesn't work like that. When you're sharing the screen on the live screen, you can either do it by video file or a slide or an extra camera. I don't have any of those, but a video file or share screen. I've tried all those things. I have it up on my screen. I just have no. Let me just. And that won't work, will it? No. I could be here all night trying to do that, but I will work it out. Do you know, Charlie, I don't think the doctor's analysis can identify bruises, not after 3 weeks in the water. That's the problem. If she had bruises, unfortunately, I don't think they would have been able to be identified by that. But no, that's so irritating. Anyway, I promise I will get you to see that. I will get that photo for you to see. I'll get it sorted. And I really don't understand why it wouldn't come up. So then let me just try with another photo, because is it me or is it just that particular photo? So if I go on Windows, so there you go. I've got my files there. I mean, according to this, it is sharing. It's telling me it's sharing. But then when I go back onto the actual stream, it's not coming up. But it's saying to me, when I go on the photo, that it is sharing. So it's very strange. But anyway, sorry. Let me just stop sharing. I don't even know what I'm sharing now. Ooh. Thought I'd ended the broadcast then. I want to say goodnight. So 2 more sunrises until the inquest. Maybe we'll find out a lot more then. I will get that photo to show you. Remember to always live and love very wisely. Have a brilliant evening and an even better Sunday. I think I may have a day off tomorrow, building up to the inquest. I do know some people that are going to the inquest on Monday, and so we will be getting reports of what's happening when they can, because obviously as the inquest is going on, you're not supposed to be able to take your phone. I mean, we don't know whether they'll have their phones. They have to put their phone. If they go through an airport style security, they might have to leave their phones and pick them up in the break times, etc. We don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if Mr. Aidley, if we feel confident. I think it's going to be an open verdict. That's I don't think by now it's, obviously it can't be like murder or whatever, but I can't see it how it can be proven anything but an open verdict unless they have a lot more information that we don't know about, which is entirely possible. So we'll find out, won't we? So yeah, remember to look after yourself as well, because you are the most important person, because you can't look after anybody else unless you look after yourself. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Please don't forget to give me a like as you're on your way out. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you so much.